Intro. Hi, my name is Amanda Christine Harth, and I'm the CEO and founder of Runwayaddicts, the fashion media company. So I got my degree in fashion design from the Illinois Institute of Art in 2010, took up an interest in menswear and design for a few years, but I realized that there was this void for independent and emerging designers. They didn't have a space or a platform to really share their work unless they were however many followers on social media. So we developed Runwayaddicts as a resource for people to use digitally and in person. We organize events and workshops and discussions around the city regularly. We have our fashion media website, runwayaddicts.co, and we share stories and current news events in fashion on that website. This lecture will focus on essential skills and knowledge that you'll need in order to run a successful business. You'll be able to change it up as you go, but today you'll learn the very first steps that are probably best practices for your business. We'll discuss marketing your business, protecting it legally, and connecting with people, your target market, figuring out a budget, and leadership skills. So you're in the first steps of building your business. I think having a vision is super important. Knowing what that end goal looks like, and then how to work backwards from that, and seeing what you need in order to develop this into what you see it being in the next 5 years or however long you plan on doing it. In the beginning, with your idea phase, it's really important to not share so much information with people. So just shut up. They don't need to know everything with what you're doing and what you're building, especially now. There were so many people that were starting businesses, and once the pandemic hit, they had to change everything that they were doing, and they're completely shifting the concept now. So you have your idea down, you have your concept down for your business. The next step is how to protect it. How are you going to structure your business? Legally, most businesses in fashion are registered as an LLC, and that's about a $150 fee for registering that in the state of Illinois. So what I did with Runwayaddicts, I registered that as a sole proprietor when I first launched this business. I wasn't making any money, and I didn't have a lot of capital to grow it. So that way I was able to still file taxes with my own personal taxes. Runwayaddicts is now an LLC. That's a totally separate tax form that you'll have to fill out, and that's different steps and processes that you have to work through once it's an LLC. Now that you have your ideas and your concepts down, something else you have to look into is protecting your business legally when working with people, different contracts, and bringing help in to do things, people signing non-disclosure forms. The paperwork, that's the most important part in the beginning, is how you structure your business. You have your idea, you have the concept, you got your contract signed, you're ready to get started, you're all protected legally. So what's the next step? The money, figuring out the capital and the budget. How much is it gonna cost to run this business? Starting a fashion business doesn't cost a whole lot. It's just more so how you're starting and how you're using that money. So if you have $500, things that you have to take into consideration: running a website, your domain name, creating that product. What is it gonna look like? Where are you gonna get these materials and supplies? And how much is that all gonna cost, or how much of that product and those pieces do you need? Also, do you have the skills already to get this started in terms of producing this fabric? Sometimes you can do it in your home if you have a sewing machine, and other times you may need help. Starting off, it's important to prioritize things that you need. It may be a fashion design business, it may be a blogging platform. You're definitely gonna need a website. You need to own your domain name, figure out the server that you wanna use for that, and then also prioritizing what you need in terms of production. Sewing machines, fabric and material, how much is that gonna cost? Or outsourcing the help for it. Shipping, supplies, those are things that you're gonna have to take into consideration when you're starting a fashion company. In terms of producing your product, who are you producing this for? Who's your target market? How much money do they have? A lot of the times people say, oh, my target market is everybody. That makes no sense, because everybody's not gonna buy this product unless it's like a toothbrush. So that's all a part of your target market research. How much money are they spending on clothes these days? Do they like sneakers? Where do they eat? Do they like ramen? Do they travel often? Those are different things you have to consider. And what's been happening now is there are a lot of consumers that are being grouped together as a niche market, which means that people are designing specific things a specific way for a very specific customer. So you figured out your target market, you have your budget in place for how much you're gonna spend to produce, you got your product in mind. How are you gonna structure your team? Right now, do you even need a team? That's what I had to figure out. Personally, in the beginning, when I first started this, I had so many great ideas and so many things I wanted to do because it's a media company, and that means so many different things. Once I was able to hone in on what it was, who this was for, and what was gonna happen with this, and actually develop a plan over the next 10 years, things got a little bit easier. So now I've been able to figure out I need a team for events and exhibitions. I need a team to run the media side of things. I need a production team. Those are things that you have to figure out. What do you need as a leader and as a business owner in order to make this business succeed? So there's different things that you need to figure out with your team as well in the structure. Certain people that you put into leadership positions, who's gonna be in charge of what? Communication, what does that look like for you? All right, so you have your team, you have a budget, you got your product, you got who you're creating for, the idea is dope, you're ready to go. How are you gonna promote this product? How are you gonna promote your brand? There's so many different ways people go about marketing what it is that they're selling. And there is a wrong way of doing it, but there's different ways of doing it successfully. Social media has given so many independent brands a new outlet to personally connect with people. That's one of the upsides of having an Instagram, a Pinterest account, Facebook, and being able to speak directly to the customer. A lot of consumers respond to that positively. Now the next step is how will you market your business? Reaching that consumer, reaching your target market. All marketing is human connection and getting people to buy in what you're selling. To be honest with fashion, no one needs another sweatshirt, no one needs more jeans or shoes, but it's something about how you promote it to them and how you present it that people connect with it. All it is triggering some sort of human emotion to get people to buy into whatever it is that you're selling. Business management. As your business continues to develop and grow over the next year or so, you have to figure out ways that work for you and your team, or just you, on ways to manage the business. So that means creating some sort of production schedule with your garments, or how often are you gonna blog on your website? When you're working on a publication, will it be released weekly, quarterly, or monthly? Those are different things you have to figure out and structure around the management of your business when it comes to releasing product or releasing any kind of thing that you have with your business to the public. How often are you going to do it? Figuring out a schedule and figuring out how your team fits into that. So with business management, something else you have to take into consideration is a standard operating procedure plan for what it is that you're creating. I keep most of that on my Google platform, Google Docs, Google Excel sheets, anything Google. It's a gift, honestly. And it's free. As long as you have a Gmail account, you can use that platform for whatever it is that you're building, and you're able to share it with your team pretty easily. It's important to empower and trust those around you to execute your vision. In the beginning, starting off your business, you're going to be doing a lot of things on your own and by yourself, but as it continues to grow, hopefully, you'll be able to pass off a few of those things that you would usually do to other people because they're experts at that. For example, I don't know how to shoot a video, so I hire someone else to do it. So that's our lecture for today on Intro to Fashion. Keep in mind, this is really just the beginning and the basics, but these are certain things you can take into consideration as you get started building your business. So coming up, we have our next lecture on color theory led by Adrian Hawthorne.